Attack on Titan is one of my all-time favorite anime and manga series. It's a masterpiece of a series that somehow draws me in despite how dark it is, and trust me, I rarely like overly dark series, but then again, I loved Evangelion. Perhaps I just have a soft spot for mecha anime, or semi-mecha, I suppose, given Attack on Titan's more biological nature. Regardless, the titular creatures were one of the biggest mysteries of the entire series, and there are so many nuggets of information to know about them. So today, in this little video, I would like to go over the Titans with you, their origin, their nature, and why they are the way that they are. So sit right back and prepare for a history lesson that even Hanji would blush at. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We've also noticed that a lot of folks that watch our videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. We know that YouTube does a great job of getting you what you want to watch, but if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos, or if you just want to support the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. History. The Titans were not something that always existed, but the power of them was always present. The creature known as the source of all living matter, who some believe to be a god and others to be a devil, was a creature seemingly similar to, if not the same as, the hallucigenia, an extinct type of worm that don't exist anymore, and if they do, I'm gonna be sure to have one surgically implanted into my spine. Just pretend you didn't hear that bit. This creature seems to have complete control over its form, and given the differences in appearances that it has throughout the series, it's very possible that it's not actually a hallucigenia at all, and merely took that form. It laid dormant under a large tree that stood taller than the rest. It seems this creature affects any living creature, as it seems to modify even trees. This also would be a reference to Yggdrasil, the tree in Norse mythology from which everything in the universe is created. And yes, before you say it, I know Titans are a Greek mythological thing, but the Japanese use the term Kyojin, which means giant, so it's closer to the Norse giants than the Greek Titans. The English translators just wanted to give it a more kick-ass name. In this mirrored and inverted world, war still exists, and the Marleyans were enslaved by the slowly rising Eldian Empire. Ymir, technically a Marleyan, was one of those who served King Fritz as a slave. When she accidentally let out a pig that then perished, she was punished by being freed, I said that in air quotes, and used as the fox in a game of horseback hunting. Struck multiple times by arrows, she ran through the forest, happening upon a massive tree that she attempted to hide in. However, unbeknownst to her, there was a hidden aquifer in the base of the tree which she fell into. Within that water, she came into contact with this creature that felt how truly desperate she was. Scared of being attacked, the general law of nature that bigger means better came into play, and she was transformed into the first Titan, what would later be known as the Founding Titan. With her incredible power, she escaped and survived, so now she was free. But poor Ymir didn't know what to do with it. She had spent so much time serving others that she didn't have a purpose unless she had a master to serve, which drove her back to the king. In return for serving him, he would accept her back as his slave. In his name, she built roads, worked the land, and fought wars. The power of the Titans became a treasured resource of the Eldian Empire, and due to how well she served them, he decided to bestow a gift upon her, a forced marriage. Because nothing is better than marrying the guy who tried to have you killed over a pig and now wishes to marry you because he wants his babies to replace you when you inevitably die. But Ymir has no problem with it. As it turns out, I'm actually pretty sure that she loved King Fritz, so it was like a dream come true, except with all the killing. She bore him 3 daughters, Maria, Rose, and Sina. Sound familiar? Well, it should. Eventually, poor Ymir's conscience gets the better of her, as does her slave mentality. During an assassination attempt on King Fritz's life, she jumps in the way and takes the spear. Now, of course, Ymir could have healed herself up just fine, as even King Fritz says as she's bleeding out at his feet. However, she refuses this, likely because her conscience is catching up with her and she dies. Out of fear that he might lose the power of the Titans, King Fritz, well, let's just say that maybe he fed his daughters some special tacos made out of long pork. Because of this, the daughters, who are likely forever warped from cannibalism, gain the power of the Titans. It's from this action that the founding Titan gives birth to the other 8, and from here, the Titans were passed down from generation to generation. But just because you are a descendant of Ymir that never had one of the 9 Titans doesn't mean that you can't turn into a Titan anyway. 1900 years after the founding Titan was created, the Eldian Empire had all but bred the power of the Titans through them, and had forced the nations they conquered to give birth to more subjects of Ymir, which in turn allowed the king to use the founding Titan to start miniature rumblings that he would use to destroy his enemies and expand his empire to the farthest corners of the earth. However, circa year 743, the founding Titan fell into the hands of the benevolent Karl Fritz, who had come to witness the atrocities of his people and decided to fake a civil war within the Eldian Empire, which would lead to his own exile from the Marleyan continent, where he would set up his own kingdom on the island of Paradise. He would bring with him as many Eldians as possible and leave the Tiber clan in Marley to help restore autonomy in the nation and rebuild. Karl Fritz would then use the founding Titan to turn countless numbers of his people into colossal titans, similar to one of the 9, and would cause them to harden and become the walls around his kingdom. He would set smaller titans outside the wall as guards to protect their kingdom from the outside. Karl declared that should his people ever be attacked on the island of Paradise, he would release the titans in the walls and would cause a rumbling that would destroy the entire world. This, however, was an empty promise, as the king renounced war and instead set a limit upon the founding Titan that it could no longer be used for war, resulting in the inability to command Titans any further. The founder continued to be passed down from generation to generation until it was stolen from Frieda Ries by Grisha Jaeger, and eventually given to his son, Eren Jaeger, who proceeds to do ungodly things with it. The Titans. The Titans have many quirks about them that make them quite monstrous, but why do this? For a creature designed to give you whatever you desire in this world, why do the Titans created from the founder turn into mindless monsters? Well, plenty, if not all of the Titans we see are actually pre-programmed, even if accidentally. The first thing to realize about this is that Ymir Fritz is a slave. This means that both the founding Titan, the 9 Titans, and any Titans themselves, including the subject of Ymir, are fated to be slaves for their entire lives. When Ymir gained the founding Titan, she was free to do whatever she wanted with it. She was truly free. But, lacking a purpose, she returned to Eldia and proceeded to indenture herself once more, sentencing herself as well as her children to a life of slavery. Despite marrying the king and being counted as a queen, she remained a slave, or at least a slave in her mentality. Anything asked of her was done quickly and precisely, and she's still like this as well, as proven when she met with Zeke in the Paths. While there, Zeke spoke with the founder and actually managed to rescind all restrictions that Karl Fritz had put on the founder through his vow renouncing war. Yeah, Zeke undid that the moment he and Eren touched for the first time. Zeke technically could have just eaten Eren and used the founder all on his own, but Zeke is a pure boy. Pure-ish boy. Alright, he kills people, but not Eren. He loves little brother. But anyway, when Ymir died, 2 things happened. The beginning of the rules that were written to determine how Titans would act. After obtaining the power of the Titans, Ymir Fritz lasted 13 years as a slave until she eventually decided enough was enough and let herself die. This is what came to be known as the Curse of Ymir, in which a holder of one of the 9 Titans can only live for 13 years before perishing. After Ymir's passing, though, King Fritz wished that the power of the Titans be passed down to his children, so he forced his daughters to eat their mother. This caused the founder to recognize Ymir's daughters as the next holders of the power of the Titans. Their decision to eat their mother is what caused the founder to register the method of transference. To pass the power on, one must eat the previous holder. We know that it was this act that did so, as we witness Ymir in the Paths. After her body is devoured by her daughters, 3 branches on the luminescent tree in the center of the dimension are spawned. Normally, a new subject of Ymir is born and is automatically a branch in the tree, but this tree only grew a new branch when the founder was devoured, which set 2 rules at once. The first rule being that the founder and all other Titan powers can only be claimed if devoured. The second rule was that King Fritz wanted the powers to remain even after the death of Ymir, and so any child born with Ymir's genetics could automatically be a part of the paths, and should one of the Titans die without being devoured, the Titan itself would automatically transfer to a random Eldian to keep the powers alive. This simple, brutal act is what gave the command for the most adaptable creature in the world to only transfer itself in one of two ways. Due to this, any person could turn into a Titan so long as they ingested the proper fluids. That is what created the pure Titans. While not as powerful as the Founder, or as noble as the Nine, they still possess that power. However, given the pre-established rules that what is most important to the king is the Titan and not the person within the pure Titan finds themselves unable to escape their Titan, and must forever live within, going mad. Now, the second question you may ask is, why can Titans only be killed by slicing their nape? The answer to that has to do with the spine. The spine is home to the central nervous system. The reason why, however, has to do with where a Titan shifter goes when they transform. When a person transforms into a Titan, be it a pure Titan or one of the Nine, their body goes into the nape because when Ymir became the founding Titan, the glowing worm attached to her spine. It's because of this that the Titan shifters go where the spine of the Titan is. By slicing the nape, you not only sever the shifter's connection to their Titan, but also kill the shifter too. However, it's unexplained how this is done, but according to and displayed by Rainer Braun, a shifter whose nape is about to receive critical damage can survive destruction if they pull their consciousness from their own brain and place it in the brain of their Titan. In that way, a Titan shifter may survive, though their body will be crippled. However, if they have not exerted themselves too much, they may regenerate their body. How this happens is unclear, as Reiner never explained where the ability came from. I theorize that it may have something to do with the Nine's connection to each other, the paths, as well as the Warhammer Titan, whose second ability is that its shifter can be anywhere within or without the body so long as it is attached. The next question you may have is, why do Titans smile? Well, the obvious reason is so they come across creepy as hell. I mean, who wouldn't find it creepy to have a massive nude Nicolas Cage smiling at you from a hole in the wall? Fun fact, Isayama also drew many of his pure Titans to look like his friends, family, and various actors he liked. So when I say there's a Nicolas Cage Titan, I'm serious. From in-universe, however, the reason why a Titan smiles is explained because they're in terrible anguish. Ymir, not Fritz, the one in the cadet corps who ate Marcel, she said that being a pure Titan was living hell, and that it was also like a waking nightmare. We're even treated to a nice time-lapse of Ymir's depressed Titan taking a dirt nap for the next 50 years until Marcel sets up camp on top of her. But the reason they smile isn't just because they've lost their sanity, they also display happy movements, particularly when the walls are torn down, in which they rush toward their enemies in a silly, if not dancing way. This is because they're happy that they have the chance to possibly eat a shifter and return to human form. This is also why few of the aberrant Titans also don't smile, and instead display a face of pure focus and determination. This is also your answer for why Titans always throw up. The reason for that is, while they do have digestive systems, those systems don't actually function, and thus they can't digest anything they eat. They merely eat humans hoping to get lucky, as if they eat a shifter, they will transform back into a human, which is likely a euphemism for how Ymir felt that the Titans made her a slave in a different way, and sought to be free. If a Titan eats a shifter, regardless of whether they can digest them, it counts. So why did Eren get eaten and Santa Titan didn't turn human again? The answer to this is that Eren wasn't actually dead, nor was his spine compromised. In other words, if Santa Titan was careful to actually chew instead of just swallowing him, he would have turned back into a human and survived the day. Why can Zeke control Titans? This answer actually has very little to do with the Beast Titan, as it was stated that no other Beast Titan in the past could do it, but instead only Zeke, who was basically like a second founding Titan. The reason was purely because he was a royal with the power of the Titans, which essentially made him a founding Titan by default. If Astoria Reese had eaten Zeke, as was the plan, she too could have commanded Titans just like him. It's even a personal theory of mine that had there been any other Titans near Rod Reese's pure Titan form, he could have commanded them too. So long as someone with royal blood had access to the power of the Titans, they can tap into the founding Titan's power, with or without actually being the founder. What the heck's up with the Ackerman clan? Well, the Ackerman clan is a unique clan in that they possess the power of the Titans, but can't actually turn into Titans themselves, which is part of the reason why Levi's so badass and considered a human Titan despite not actually being one. The secret is that Karl Fritz wanted a clan to protect him, so he took the Ackerman clan and made them immune to the Founder's influence. Due to this, they cannot actually transform into Titans even if injected with Titan serum. Had Kenny decided to try and become a Titan after being burned, nothing would have happened, and they would have lost the last of the Titan fluid, and Armin would have died. But the secret about the Ackerman clan is that while unable to turn into Titans, they still can use its power. They gain incredible strength from trauma, similar to the concept of hysterical strength, and they can further gain incredible knowledge of how to fight due to the same power that allows Titan shifters to pass memories forward to their next users. Essentially, what was muscle memory for one Ackerman becomes muscle memory for all of them, which means that Levi and Mikasa have thousands of years of battle data stored in their subconscious, which is why they are so freaking deadly. But I can't think of any more questions right now. If you have more Attack on Titan questions, drop them in the comments below, and maybe I'll explain them in a future video. Anyway, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified of our latest videos when they drop, and until next time, peace.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.